Welcome back, everybody, to Cool Times Podcast, where we talk all things cool about the cold storage construction industry. I am your host, Vince Free, joined by the other host, my beautiful wife,
Thank you,
Jenna Free. We have an awesome guest on today. I actually go way back with this guy, played some hockey with him, shared some scars. This guy, he's a beauty. Graduated from MSOE. I met him in Milwaukee. He graduated with an architectural engineering and construction management degree. Married 4 years now, has a little one, David, 1 year old. He has been in engineering and construction for over 15 years. He's been in the cold storage construction industry for many years, traveled across the United States, working project to project. And now he's found a home at Burns McDonnell, and he is the engineering manager in the food and consumer product group. Our boy, the one and only Erich Klemm.
Hey, how's it going?
hello, welcome to the
What's
podcast.
up, brother? Long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. How are you guys?
We're good.
We're good. We're good. I was excited when you said yes to this one because I'm like, man, I love Klemm. We've worked together in the past at the same company. I played a ton of ice hockey. I went drinking with you down at the bars in Milwaukee when we were 20 years ago.
Did that happen?
Yeah. I mean, we're like 20 years ago, right? I don't know.
How well is your memory? Of that?
How well is your memory? Back in the old Water Street in Milwaukee.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Good times.
And then we played men's league together, like men's league, beer league hockey, you know?
Great times. Great times there.
Yeah. Are you still playing?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I'm making my way into the over 40 league. So if you get the opportunity, I highly recommend it and encourage it.
Yeah.
So,
When Jenna and I moved to Texas, I joined, I immediately found a league and I emailed the hockey director of the facility. He's like, we have 3 leagues, A, B, C league, and we have a 35 and over. And I'm like, can you tell me more about the 35 and over? So yeah, I'm doing that.
That you, hello, recent champion.
Beer league champ.
nice.
Klemm, I'm going to call you Klemm because that's how I was referred to my boy Klemm. All right, his name's Eric, but for those who don't know me, I call him Klemm. So Klemm, the Stanley Cup that they give us in the beer league, it's epic. It is a tower of Miller Lite cans, like 3.5 feet tall, dude. It's epic.
That's very fitting. That's very fitting.
Are you gonna show it?
Nice.
Oh gosh. Well, for all listeners out there listening on, Apple, the Apple podcast, you can't see that, but if you're watching,
you are missing out.
If you're watching that on YouTube, you will have seen that photo of us.
The glory days are still going. That's good to see.
Yeah. Well, I gotta stay in shape somehow, man.
That's right.
It's hard to stay in shape at our age.
Oh yeah. You got to watch, especially with the travel schedule and you're eating out and you're sitting on airplanes, it's very difficult. So it's getting on the ice a couple times a week at least is really important also for the mental sanity for me anyway. So I'm sure you feel the same way.
No, absolutely. No.
So Vince had said in when he was introducing you that you did a lot of travel, a lot of time on different projects. I think mainly on the East Coast. Did you have a favorite area where you did your project management?
That's a good question. I loved New Jersey. Was actually a great place. I was in a couple spots in New Jersey, Lakewood near the shore. Didn't do any fist
No
bumping
gym
or
tan laundry.
That is actually a cool area.
Yeah, that was, and actually that's the project we worked on together. So
we did that job together.
Boutique seafood, little processing facility. That was a lot of fun. So that was great. And then from there, I went up to Jersey City, which was fantastic. Really great project near near New York City. I was living on the Hudson River, looking right at the Statue of Liberty in downtown Manhattan.
Wow, sure.
And so that's also where I met my wife, Jaciela. So that place has a nice spot in my heart. So and then I mean Boston too is fantastic. I was actually working out of the office for a year in Boston and talk about a great hockey town. I was pick up
that arena is insane.
3 or 4 nights a week I was playing, so I was in great shape. And so those are probably the top spots for me. And then I was also upstate New York and Maryland as well. So
Wow, that's a cool place.
Dude, my boy got around up there. You're king of the Northeast, man.
I looked at it one time. I was like, we moved something like 9 times in 7 years. It was ridiculous. So
wow.
And you've landed a home in Chicago now.
Back home to Chicago. I got the opportunity to come here. So great decision and settle in, put some roots down, get back to family and start a family. So
I love it. No, you have started a family, and I'm excited for you and proud of you. And you're from Chicago. Does that make you a Bears fan? Are you a Bears fan?
Unfortunately, yeah. You had to bring that up.
We're done here.
I'm only bringing it up because I have the off season to boast while I can. Because I just don't I don't see the future of Green Bay Packers very bright for the next 10 years. So we'll see.
You guys had some good years. You
did.
I'm not feeling sorry for you just yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fair.
We did all right. Well, yeah, let's talk construction and why we're here in cold storage. And there's a lot going on right now in our industry. As you know, it's super busy. It is absolutely insane with how much work is going on right now, but also the supply chain issues that we're having. And being on the construction and engineering side, we want to talk with you a little bit about your opinion of that, and is that impacting any of your jobs? I guess let's start there for our listeners.
Yes, I mean, my opinion of it is planning is critical. So I guess a specific project that I'm working on now, we're in detailed design. It's an EPC project, so we're the EPC contractor providing engineering, procurement, and construction services for a consumer products company. It's out on the West Coast. I can't really get into specifics for obvious reasons, but a lot of long lead packaging equipment and lead times have, we did some preliminary front end planning efforts, preliminary engineering to, figure out some feasibility planning, conceptual, from a like 50,000 level view. And we get through, our estimate, and it goes through a gated review process where they present it to their board. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much where the project needs to be. Let's proceed into the next phase. So then it's like, okay, we do a little more of the engineering and we get like plus or minus 10% on the cost estimate. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's still good. Proceed into EPC. During that 6-month stretch of time of conceptual front end planning, lead times just stretched on some of the equipment from 52 weeks to 72 weeks, for example. So, and price escalations are being absorbed in there too. So it's really difficult to try and forecast those costs. And structuring contracts with clients and with vendors is extremely important in managing that risk to provide the customer with that cost and schedule predictability in delivering the project.
Yeah, you said 72 months.
Yeah, it's a pretty sophisticated piece of equipment from Italy. So we actually have 2 pieces of equipment from Italy. So there's factory acceptance testing, there's shipping raw materials over to Italy for those tests and getting the right team in place for it. So getting all those things aligned with the vendors, with our procurement group is extremely important to the success of the project.
That's insane. So you're going through phase 1, and as you're going through phase 1, you're getting into phase 2. And by the time you finish phase 2, your pricing and lead times from phase 1 already probably doubled. So you get to phase 3 and go, hey, by the way, can we circle back to phase 1 and redo this? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So it's just, or everyone's busy. Everyone's selling a lot of equipment. Everyone's buying a lot of equipment. So getting in line, getting in production schedules it's a very competitive marketplace right now.
And that's the same with me and Jenna. As we're bidding these panel jobs, we get customers that say, let's just hypothetically say, hey, it's January right now, but we're not going to do this job till 3rd quarter, maybe 4th quarter. Can you give us a price? Well, the panel manufacturers out there, they're not even guaranteeing their pricing like they used to. I mean, they're all right, our pricing is good for 30 days ish. And then it's got to ship in 90 days after we give you the price. Well, first off, no one can, those terms are insane because no one can actually do the job in 90 days after they get a price because their panel lead times are over 90 days long. So, hey, I gave you a quote in January, but it needs to ship by the end of March, but we're shipping out past June. So wait, what? So it's the same with us too. And the price escalations and everything going on is is stressful. And like you said, plan, communicate, be upfront. This is the number. It could go up. And we're starting to see some of these owners are putting the brakes on, saying, you know, I'm not paying this. I'm not paying 30% more than the price that 6 months ago. Like they're starting to hit the pause button.
Are you seeing that?
Are you seeing that on your end? Are owners pulling back at all?
We haven't experienced that yet, but yeah, that's reminiscent of like the 2008, 2009 time period when I was strictly in cold storage, and you kind of had the housing bust when everyone just put a halt to capital spending, right? So you're saying you're seeing some of that now.
Yeah, I mean, pause buttons. Nothing. No one's canceling.
Nothing drastic, but we're seeing some owners say this is enough. Enough's enough. We can't, like a $20 million job that was budgeted 8 months ago is a $30 million job now. 8 months later, they're like, whoa, where'd this 10 million come from? Right. And then I want to see price increase letters from all the manufacturers. So then we're drumming up I have a saved library of all the price increases. You know what I mean? Like here's our proof where, no one's out to stick anybody. I think all of us kind of want things to go back to the way they were, just for the sake of, it was more fun and less stressful.
It was definitely less stressful, less things to move around. Let's put it that way.
Totally.
Shooting at a moving target. It's never fun.
But we all grow from challenge. So this is a growing opportunity.
Definitely. If it was easy, everybody
I'm growing
would
the
do
wrong way, man.
Sorry. Whoops. We won't talk about that.
This stress is making me eat, and I'm growing the wrong way.
Well, that's why you play all the hockey.
That's right. That's right.
Klemm, as we're calling you today.
You can call him Erich.
I know you haven't worked strictly in cold storage, but I know there was a time in your career that you were part of it. And I don't know if you experienced this but there's a vibe to it, I guess. And it comes with some cool stories, and there are some cool moments that people have in the industry that we've talked to in previous podcasts that have been like, this is how I knew I wanted to be somewhat connected to that industry, whether I stay in it, directly or I work indirectly with it. Did you ever have a cool moment like that? Whether it doesn't have to necessarily be in cold storage, but just in your career that made you go, this is my home. This is where I want to build.
Yeah. I mean, it was probably when I was working for a company on the East Coast based out of Boston. Great. It was a company I worked for previously to joining Burns McDonnell, smaller company. The president of that company, I consider a pretty close friend. I still, send him texts back and forth here and there. So he really, I was on a project in upstate New York, and it was a large dairy processing facility. And I think, you worked for actually with the same kind of, with our sister company. So upstate New York, middle of winter, we're building a 100-foot tall cast in place concrete milk evaporator condensing tower. I was supporting a superintendent at the time, great guy, older gentleman, and he had a health issue, and he was no longer able to finish out working on the project. And we're middle of the project, responsible for pretty significant part of the project's contract value. So I was the head guy. I became the head, basically construction manager, superintendent, whatever you want to call me, on site responsible for that part of the work. So that was, for me, that was really awesome and empowering, and it really kind of lit a fire under me. And reporting back to we were in charge of the civil site work development, all of the civil, structural, architectural scope elements of the project. So the prime was, they were also self-performing all the MEPs. So reporting back to that senior vice president on the site, being there, finishing it out all the way through punch list, and then really having the trust of Bob Ross, and building that friendship relationship with him really gave me a lot of confidence and helped me develop in my career. And then that just rolled on and developed on and on into the next 5 or 6 more projects, whatever it was after that.
Sure.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, Bob Ross is a great guy. We still get to work with him, and he's a stud.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you, in that moment when you had to step into that kind of dual role, like what was that like for you?
It's a lot of hats you had to wear.
It was a little scary. Yeah, it was a little scary. So, you know, I have all these contractors, union contractors in upstate New York reporting back to me. And there's a lot of, you know, there's being on a job site, that's where all the action happens, and changes and requests for information. And so to keep people moving, it's a lot of stress, but
I think that's where you
it
learn
makes
the
the day
most,
goes
though.
by. Absolutely. Yeah.
Being in the field, that's where you learn the most. And I stress that with all of our new guys too, and all of our new project managers we're bringing on board. Get in the field. You're not going to learn from behind a desk looking at a computer screen. I didn't learn that way. The second I was hired at every company that I moved from out of college, I was in the field. I was in the shop, and had my hands on the drill and the gun and the caulk and the butyl and doing all the things. One time, I'll tell this story. One time I was training for an insulated metal panel company, and I was doing a job out in the West Coast, and the superintendent goes, jump in that 10K over there and set some panels. I go, what? He's like, yeah, I'll stay right here. I can train. I'm certified to train forklift drivers, so I'll train you. We're going to set some panels today. And literally, I'm like, dude, you know how expensive panels are. You know, one panel's like $1,200 a pop. Well, today they're like $2,500 a pop. But I get in this 10K reach fork, and I'm trying to like do all the controls, and I'm behind the wheel, and I'm moving the jib that has the woods unit that lifts up the panels over the panels. And I'm like going super slow. And all the guys in the field that are sitting by the panel ready to grab a pull up and like on the boom lift waiting for me, they're all just sitting there laughing at me. I mean, you know, I learned how to drive a reach fork that day and set panels. And I think that day I set over 25 panels on my own. I started, you know, it's like playing a video game, really. I just started getting in the flow of it and moving fast and everything like that. But yeah, that's how you learn stuff.
For sure. For sure.
So, well, give me something that's a cool moment, but do you have any cool, funny stories about being in the industry? I know you do.
Those panel guys on that project, actually, you're talking about panels. You ever hear this one, the hazing that the panel guys do with like the younger panel? Like, hey, can you go talk to the electrician? We got to get our panel stretcher back.
I've heard this before.
The kid's like, hey, I need a panel stretcher. You know, and they had the Boston accent, the panel stretcher.
Yeah.
He's like, panel stretcher? You think you could stretch a panel with that? Do you see this thing? You're not going to stretch a panel.
The old panel stretcher.
Yes.
That was the old saying at ASI Doors in Milwaukee that I worked at. Like one of my first weeks, I was hazed too on the shop when I was putting the doors together. They're like, hey, can you run down to the basement and pick up a couple of these trolley assemblies for these doors? I walked around the entire warehouse shop asking everybody, hey, how do I get to the basement? Like, I'm not sure. You got to ask the other guy. So I walked around asking everyone. There's no basement at this warehouse, but I asked everybody where the basement was. And yeah, I was certainly hazed.
Humbling experience.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, the old panel stretcher. I've heard that before.
Work can't be fun.
I've heard the old panel stretcher before. However, if anyone can invent one, let me know. That'd be great.
Wouldn't that reduce the R value though? It would, you know, the width of the panel would decrease there.
You know, there is a thing out there that fixes broken hockey sticks, right? Because our hockey sticks are like Kevlar or carbon fiber, and there's a gel coat that you can put on the hockey. How did I go to hockey already? There's a gel coat
and kind of melts it in there.
Put on it, and that the one piece sticks that molds them back together. Now, I mean, with panels, I don't know if there's going to be ever something that is invented where you can get 2 sheets of steel and get a little mobile foam, A and B's foam, and
like injection,
and inject it and make your own
like a 2-part
addition. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, right?
They have that for concrete crack repair, like a 2-part epoxy injection.
See,
you know, yeah.
See, we're inventing things right now. And we're going to get into that. You know what? We're talking technology. Get into it right now. It's a good segue to technology.
We'll have to edit this part out though, because we don't want the audience to steal that idea. That
You're
is
right.
gold.
You're right.
So-
Maybe we should stop. We don't want to go too far.
We're already trademarking.
We don't have the
patenting
patent yet.
ideas. Yeah. No, I'm good. I want someone to hear this and invent it.
Yes, we're busy enough.
Too much
We don't
work.
wanna do
I don't
it.
want to
We
do
don't have
that.
time for anything else. We don't have time for anything else. Well, let's talk technology and we might be jumping the gun here, but I like the flow. I mean, it's tell us something that you see the industry, because I know you've done cold storage. You still dabble in cold storage construction, but mainly like when we say cold storage, you get what the audience and you listeners can, or maybe let's understand this. It's food processing, it's food and beverage, it's food related packaging units. I mean, it could be a dry facility that is not temperature controlled, but it's still food related because you're working on packaging systems. So everything that encompasses that
supply chain. Yeah.
Let's talk technology. Where do you see technology going 10 years from now? Where do you think, what's going to happen in the technology that's going to make things?
What would you want to see?
Or what would you want to see? Like, we ask that question to everybody.
Well, it's definitely going more in the way of automation, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, more risky jobs like forklift operators, right? You're more, if you're an operator, you're more susceptible to accidents and damage, and you don't want that liability. So you want to reduce and mitigate or eliminate that risk. So you definitely we see the industry going it more in the way of automation and pretty sophisticated industrial control systems. So, eliminating those tedious manual labor jobs that people don't even want to do anymore.
Sure.
And these are positions that these companies can't even fill anymore. Right. So you probably see it in warehousing with like automated guided vehicles,
Sure.
right? So picking up finished pallets from a production line, getting it over to a warehouse.
Even a safety factor, right? Because these -10, these freezers are -10, and then these forklift drivers are like dressed to the nine, like they're ready to go to Antarctica, and they're working in -10 all day, right? On slick floors, because it's -10, so the floors are slick, right? So there's a safety factor there. You're right. We're seeing a lot more automation with things that automatically pick pallets and drop it off into the cold dock, which is at 35 degrees, something a little more manageable to work in.
Yeah, and you get more. I mean, just from you look at it from like a commodity perspective, you're getting more pallet positions per footprint in a building, right? With building an ASRS, it doesn't always work depending on this number of SKUs that you're storing and whatnot, and the velocity of the products moving in and out of a facility. But even in process systems, empty packaging materials, things like depalletizers going into automated fillers, automated case erectors, case packers, and then palletizers. That whole, from the empty package to the completed pallet is all getting very automated. So you're just, all the conveyor systems, the line control, all to one integrated PLC that's controlling it, that's tied into a warehouse management system and monitoring the overall line OEE, operational equipment efficiency. So all of that stuff is being monitored to maximize capital and value.
So are you seeing a lot of the position at Burns McDonnell? I mean, because I kind of feel like with what you're doing with the food and consumer products, are you seeing a lot of this kind of firsthand in the projects you're working on?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, so coordinating. So I'm here in Chicago. We have like 400 people in our group, but that's across all our global practices. Our food and consumer products group here is somewhere around 40 people. Company wide, it's in the hundreds. I don't even know the number right now, but I mean, we self-perform all engineering disciplines in-house. We're not going to outside providers. So we have in-house chemical process engineers, packaging engineers, electrical controls engineers, structural architects, anywhere ranging from, entry level out of college to very experienced professionals. So being around them,
Well, that was our next question. I mean, this is flowing so well. We were going to ask, I was going to ask you more.
Are you patting yourself on the back right
no,
now?
he's doing it. Eric's doing it. Clem's doing it. No, like Burns McDonnell. We want to know more, and our listeners want to know more about Burns McDonnell. So, how many, like you said, you have how many employees throughout the United States, how many offices, are they all doing the same thing? They're doing different things. Tell us a little bit more about Burns.
Yeah. So high level view, I'm in this a small microcosm of Burns FC in the food and consumer products group, but Burns McDonnell as a whole, I think we're 8,500 employee owners right now. So we're employee owners. We're an
employee
ESOP
owner.
company.
Are you ESOP?
Awesome.
We are an ESOP. Yep.
I love it. Congrats.
So, yeah, thank you. So and our world headquarters is in Kansas City, something like at least 4,000 there. It might be a little more, 4,500. So we have a large FCP presence there as well. But we have regional offices all over the United States, as well as Mumbai, India. So, which I was able to go to, myself and two other guys. We were able to go to Mumbai a couple of years ago to coordinate with that engineering office there. That's actually our largest regional office, which is pretty interesting. It's something like 1,000 people over there in Mumbai.
Wow. That's awesome. What a unique experience.
Super. Yeah, it's very, very, very cool to go over there. Great people. They support us. I mean, they provide a tremendous amount of capacity to support us on these fast track projects. It's basically like a second shift. So there's like a 11 and a half, 12-hour time difference, depending on the time of the year. So we finish things at 5 p.m. We come in the next morning. They've been working on it all night. We pick up where they left off and vice versa. So
it's seamless.
Keeps us all rolling.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome.
So 8,500 people. We have something like 2,500 open job requisitions right now out for, again, all levels of experience.
Wow.
Our FCP group, I think we're number 2 ENR in food and bev.
That's awesome.
Some of our other global practices. So we're FCP. We are part of the global facilities global practice. So in that we have manufacturing, we have mission critical, so like data centers, big tech type projects.
Data centers are huge right now. Yep.
Absolutely huge, unbelievable. That's one of our fastest growing segments. We have aviation and federal, energy, transmission and distribution. We're number 1 ENR in the country in that. Transportation, I'm sure I'm missing a few, but those are the ones that come to mind. So it's really cool to be, here in an office, 400 people in Chicago. We got 3 floors downtown Chicago, a good group in FCP, and then I'm also surrounded by, experts in all these other industries as well. And I've dabbled in some of those other industries too. I've, the commuter rail system here. I've worked on a generator replacement project, so I get to have opportunities to get my fingers in other projects. So that's really cool.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah. So, but I would say FCP, kind of back to your question, who's Burns McDonnell in like the cold storage
for the food and consumer product group? Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say we're really built around like the very complicated process heavy type projects, whether it's building a brand new world-class frozen pizza manufacturing facility or oil seed crush facility for, some of the largest agricultural companies in the world, or any consumer products, goods that we all use. So,
and what trade shows y'all going to get your name out there to do all these?
Pack Expo, Process Expo. Those are the 2 big ones that come to mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you find yourself doing a lot of travel in this position, or are you more based just in Chicago now?
Yeah, no. So I'm not living on project sites like 9 months to a year at a time anymore. So that was one of the big reasons I wanted to I did that for 5 years. We wanted to get back to Chicago, closer to family, and start a family. And so I would say it's right now at this moment, it's probably twice a month. Once we get into construction on some of these projects where I'm serving as engineering design manager, it might be a little more frequent, but we still have, I'm still working. We have a construction project manager as well on those projects who I interface with every day.
Sure.
Awesome.
Well, out of the Pack Expo and the processing show, or even in general, what has been your favorite trade show you've ever gone to? What's your favorite one you look forward to going?
Probably the Pack Expo. Pack Expo is pretty awesome. Just to
It is
see,
awesome.
yeah,
It's in
the
Vegas
automation,
too.
the technology.
Yeah.
They had I think they had it here a couple of years ago at
Yep.
McCormick Center, right? So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's like all the big new capital spending, like kind of tip of the spear type technologies are being.
Some of that machinery at Pack Expos, like it blows my mind that these machines, these movable arms, and they pick up boxes or they pick up bottles and they move them, and they're so fast and they're flawless.
And the rates at which they operate, like bottle filling machines of hundreds of bottles per minute or whatever it is. So
that's why you can buy a Pepsi for 89 cents, man. Yeah. And that's crazy. Oh, that's cool.
Well, what do you feel? I mean, I guess tell us something that maybe that you feel is really cool that's happening at Burns McDonnell right now. I hear there's a lot going on there and that you're really busy. Is there one thing that stands out in your mind that you're like, wow, this is really cool. I really like that we're doing this?
Yeah, again, I mean, being on some of these world-class facilities that are happening right now, are being built and are planning on being built, the amount of opportunity there is for all of us, myself, younger professionals, people who are, I mean, some of the folks I'm working with, it's really impressive to see the growth happening. And, I've been here 3.5 years now. So in that 3.5 years, just the growth that's happened with my friends and coworkers is awesome. Yeah. And yeah, it's really exciting. So, I mean, I mentioned the 2,500 open recs, right? I mean, we're still an ESOP though. We're all employee owners. We are the shareholders. Sure. So we don't want just growth for growth to grow revenue, right? We want profitable growth per person.
Sure.
Per person. So, and you see kind of the transformation happen in people when they are employee owners and they are on a team. Everyone's kind of rowing in the same direction, right? We're all trying to, our mission statements make our clients successful. So if we could just focus on that, everything else kind of takes care of itself, right? You take care of the customer, you're going to be set, you're going to get more projects, you're going to be able to pay out bonuses for your people, and
100%. And when did Burns McDonnell become an ESOP?
Ooh, that's a good trivia question. I think it was in the 80s, actually. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know employee stock ownership programs were available in the 80s. I didn't know that was a thing. You know what I mean? And I'm learning more and more about it. And I'm learning more and more companies are like Fat Tire Brewing, right? And there's a lot of construction companies in our arena that are ESOP, and I think that does add value because, like you said, you're all business owners in a way. You're all one common goal. It's all your money. You know what I mean? So. Yeah.
Well, tell our listeners, like, if they want to learn more about what Burns and McDonnell is doing, where would they go to find that? Like, what is your website? Are you on the socials? What socials are you on?
Yeah, I mean,
where can we find you?
So, my day is mostly spent in the nitty gritty details, but we have a great marketing department. We're definitely on LinkedIn, Instagram, I'm pretty sure, Twitter, our website, burnsmcd.com. So yeah, those are probably pretty good places to start.
Got it.
Awesome. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. Sounds like exciting stuff going on over there.
It's super exciting stuff. Well, Klemmer, the favorite part of the show, the cool wraparound questions. You ready for this?
I guess so. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So cool wraparound question. This is sponsored by Freeze Construction. I'm going to say this or that questions. You have to, without even thinking, you got to let us know your honest opinion. Okay. We'll keep this clean and safe for work. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Box and box or ground up?
Ground up.
Cold drink or cold beer?
Cold beer.
Freon or ammonia refrigeration?
Ammonia.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube. Work
hard or play hard?
Can't have both for that one?
You can. We'll allow it.
We'll allow it. Everyone says that. I love it. As you should. Ping pong or air hockey?
Ping pong is definitely more skill, even though, I love hockey.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's more like which one you prefer to play, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Crosby or Ovechkin?
Oh, Crosby. said the kid.
Crosby or McDavid?
Like, what do you mean by that question?
Well,
That's an important one.
Who do you think
I'm thinking
who's
Sid.
a better hockey player, Crosby or McDavid?
I'm still going Sid, career wise.
Yeah. Well, yeah, career. Yeah, totally. I agree. Blue pill or red pill?
Red pill.
Justin Bieber or Justin Timberlake?
Timberlake.
That's
a great one. That's such a Vinny question.
Right? It's his favorite one.
It's my favorite one. We ask
Obviously.
everybody.
I'm surprised that's not our intro music, for crying out loud.
That is, hey, we can still turn that around.
I know, we can change it.
All right. Klemmer, anything else you want to add to the show? You don't have to.
I don't know what else is new these days with Freeze. What else can you share? We haven't talked in a while.
Well, I appreciate you asking.
We're coming to you live from our new office. We
yes.
just moved into an office.
So we acquired an office at the end of 2021. We bought a property, beautiful property in Little Elm, Texas, actually on a lake. And it just kind of fell in our lap. The opportunity presented itself, and it's about 3,600 square feet. And we did a ton of renovation to it and painted the outside, painted the inside, baseboards, carpet.
We're not done yet.
Kitchen. There's a lot to do. I mean,
this is just the office we're talking about.
Just the office. Yeah.
That's awesome. So that's incredible.
We did this wallpaper job. I posted it on LinkedIn, us doing the wallpaper behind us. We did that. We were doing a lot of stuff ourselves because we like to do it. I mean, I like spending time with each other, Jen and I, and doing projects together, but it's
been good. And our partnership team, our office team works out of here. One of our PMs works out of this office with us. So definitely,
it's 4 people in the office right now here.
Yeah.
And then
putting down some roots here.
One project manager, our senior project manager, is up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. Luke Waite, you probably know Luke Waite.
Yep.
Other than that,
I think we're doing a little bit more travel than
than
twice a month.
Our field size has grown to a lot. I won't share the number, but it's the field size is up there. I'd probably put us up there with anybody out there now, size wise with capacity, but it's happened organically, which is good. Thanks again, Erich Klemm, for being on the show. We loved having you. A great conversation. For all the listeners out there, you guys can find our work and listen to the podcast online on Apple Podcast. You guys can listen to us on YouTube,
on our website,
cooltimespodcast.com. Please subscribe to our podcast on the Apple podcast.
Throw us a like or two.
Yeah, they'll hit that little red button on the YouTube and
then find us on the socials.
Find us on the social media: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Erich Klemm, thank you so much. Burns McDonnell. We appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for listening. Until next time, be good.